Hey, good morning, good afternoon, or good night to you guys. We are going to talk about something that is going to ruin your life, and that is being flexible. So let's get after it. All right. Big question in business and marketing, in your career, wherever you guys are going to go in life, um, you're going to have to be flexible. And you probably already have been really flexible in life, but get ready to take the next step because life's probably going to have to be more, you're going to have to be more flexible to accommodate what's coming up in your guys' life. So here we go. Number one, best piece of advice that I give students is always focus on the end goal. Focus on the end game. Where do you want to end up? However, adjust with challenges and changes that come up. Have a clear end game in your mind, but think about the many different ways that you might have to get there. You're definitely going to have curveballs thrown in your life. And the best piece of advice to get through that is welcome the challenge. Realize that life is not going to be the way that you think it's going to work out. You'll end up where you want to go, but how you get there is definitely going to change. For example, in my personal life, I knew in college, by about the time I was a junior in college, I wanted to be a business and marketing teacher, and I wanted to have a fantastic DECA or FBLA program and compete at nationals and do all of that. However, in 2010, I was hit with one of the hardest news of my life. I was fired. I was let go because of the recession. The funding just got cut, and I was finishing up my second year of teaching, and they said, hey, in Washington State, we're sorry, but we have to let you go. We love you, but we have no money. And I was in a complete fog. I was just like, I just got married. I'm like, what am I going to do now? And I realized I knew what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to be a business marketing teacher, but it wasn't going to happen in Washington State back then. So I had to pack up my bags, and my wife and I, who'd just been married for about 11 months at the time, moved our entire life to Utah. Utah. Utah, of all places, never thought I would end up there, 2 states away. But we hit the ground running. We built up amazing programs. My wife as a high school counselor, and we made the best of it. And we absolutely loved our time. And fortunately, 5 years later, some jobs came open back up in Washington State, where my family and friends are all at, and we were able to come back home and do that. And I never thought in my entire life I would ever move away from the Pacific Northwest. I love it. This is where I grew up. This is all I know. But I realized I was like, you know what? I had to be flexible, and not just flexible. I had to change my entire life, my friends, my life, where we went to church, where we shopped, where we ate. Oh, I am such a foodie. If you guys ever get to know me, but I had to change everything about that. So welcome the challenge and make the best of it. I mean, I could have been bitter about it, mad about it. I could have not taken a job. And just stayed there and been unemployed for 2 or 3 more years. But I welcome the challenge. So that's something that I challenge for you guys. Another personal story. My dad was a football player, and he was a kicker for the University of Idaho, Go Vandals, and he was one of the best kickers in the country at the time. He actually kicked with a live line a 68-yard field goal. If you know about anything about football, I think the current record for that in the NFL is 64-65. I think in college it's 72. He was being looked at by the Seattle Seahawks, and they were about to draft him. And a few months before his senior year, he was doing squats. He was squatting over 500 pounds, went down, and his whole entire quad exploded. He had a fist size hole right through his quad, and after that, he couldn't kick more than 40 yards. And he was in the School of Education. He was thinking about becoming a teacher, but hey, he wanted to be an NFL player, and I don't blame him. That'd be a fantastic goal. Um, but he had to realize that was no longer in the cards. And instead of being bitter or anything, he's like, hey, I'm going to be the best teacher I can possibly be. And he became a special ed teacher, health teacher, and actually a driver's ed teacher. And he coached football, coached baseball, and had an amazing career. Actually, in 2001, he was National Driver's Ed Teacher of the Year in the entire country. So be flexible, welcome the challenge, this kind of goes back to having a good attitude. So a couple things I want to leave you guys on is this: people in life, and this is so easy to tell in life for people, they're either a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. A fixed mindset are people that believe that their qualities are fixed, they're going to stay the same. Ever heard the saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks? That's a fixed mindset. They believe one thing no matter what, and you are not going to change them. But the goal in life is to have a growth mindset. People have an underlying belief that their learning and intelligence can grow over time. I remember, this may sound silly, playing sports. Some of our rival teams, oh, I couldn't stand the other players on the team. I was like, they are the enemy. Went to college and actually played rec league sports with some of them. I was like, wow, these are fantastic people. They're some of the nice people. They love the same exact sports I love. And I realized, I was like, man, back in the day, I was wrong. Just like growing up thinking the Seattle Mariners are the best team in baseball. We have not been to the playoffs since 2001. We're terrible. Maybe they are not the best baseball team in the major leagues growing up as a little kid, is what I thought. However, Ken Griffey Jr. is still the best player ever, so I will die believing that. So maybe there's my fixed mindset. So just overall, be stubborn about your goal, but be flexible about your method. Have the end goal in mind, but the pathway you get there might be different, and probably will be different than what you're expected. And I love this quote, so this is what I want to end this on. So that would be a great goal for being flexible. This would absolutely not be a great goal for being flexible. If you only have a hammer, you tend to see every problem as a nail. Hope you guys have a wonderful day.